Recording in progress. Good evening, madam.
Hello, Joy.
Good evening. Dr. Zakir Khan, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening.
Sir, we are starting. So, all of welcome to the third day international seminar organized by Dr. Sudh Kumar Library and Research Center, Gramina Padana Kendram, FSCTO, and other agencies. So, I invite our director, Dr. K.T. Sriladharumari, for welcome speech.
Good evening. Today, the third day of the International Seminar Series, titled Reimagining Decentralization in Kerala, Local Governance for a Sustainable Future. Today's theme is Localizing Sustainable Development Goals. You know, localization is the globally accepted strategy for attaining sustainable development goals. Kerala government adopted Program Implementation, Evaluation and Monitoring Department as the state nodal department for the implementation of SDGs. And for each goal, separate nodal administrative departments are also assigned. The pre-existing community-based development process combined with the good governance helped Kerala to the realization of SDGs. Today, we have 6 speakers in this seminar. First, I welcome the background note presenter, Srimati K.U. Suganya, coordinator in KILA, to the seminar. Then, Srimati Sharada Muralidharan IAS, our former Chief Secretary, headed the Kudumbashree mission for 6 years and play a major role in women empowerment by integrating Kudumbashree with local bodies. With great pleasure, I welcome you, ma'am, to the seminar. Dr. Tawkir Khan, National Project Coordinator, Ministry of Panchayat Raj, Government of India, has experience in the area of policy analysis and planning. Sir, I express my warm welcome you on the seminar.
Thank you.
Srimati Prayashi Bora, the SDG officer of UNDP, the development professional working in the field of policy and the planning of sustainable development goals. I welcome you, ma'am, to the seminar.
Thank you.
Sri Sanal PP, the Kadiru Panchayat president, also joined the seminar to share their experience. So I extend my warm welcome to the seminar. Srimati P. Rajini, Payam Gram Panchayat president, is here to share their experience in localizing SDGs. Ma'am, welcome you to the seminar. Dr. Joe Ilaman, former director KILA and also the convener of the international seminar. Sir, a warm welcome you to the seminar. I extend my warm welcome to all the participants who have joined here on behalf of the organizing committee. Thank you. Now, I request Dr. Joe Ilaman to moderate the seminar. Sir.
Good evening. I don't have much introduction to make at this point of time. We have experienced and eminent persons with us. And so let's start the presentations
KILA
right
and
from the
also
beginning
the
itself,
convener of
so
the
that I don't
international
have to talk much. Experienced and eminent, especially Madam is here and all others are also well versed. And also we have the Panchayat presidents who can also share their personal experience. We have people from the Ministry of Panchayat Raj who has been spearheading localization SDGs at the national level. Then we have the UNDP representative the SDG officer herself being with us. So we have and then we have Ms. Suganya KU, who has been spearheading the campaign for localization of SDG at the state and national level. So it's over to Suganya to make a background note presentation on localization of experience, localization of SDGs. Please, Suganya, please.
Just a question, Dr. Joy.
Yeah.
That is, after Suganya, would we be having the experience sharing by the panchayats?
At the moment, it has been decided to have you as the speaker.
It would be nice if we could hear what the panchayats have been doing also, if that is okay. I mean,
Yeah, we will do that. We will do that. We will do that. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Before we respond. Yeah.
We will do that. Okay, over to Suganya.
Respected ma'am and all others, good evening, all of you.
Okay.
Shall I start? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present the topic as the localization of sustainable development goals in Kerala. What are the major achievements we have done here, especially in the case of the Gram Panchayat level, what are the local activities and initiatives that happens in Kerala. I'm starting now. Already we are familiar with the topic, what is sustainable development goals and all. On behalf of that, just I want to start with 17 sustainable development goals. These are the goal number 1 is no poverty and zero hunger, and the third one is good health and well-being, and the fourth one is quality education, and the fifth one is gender equality, sixth one is clean water and sanitation, and the seventh one is affordable and clean energy, and the eighth one is decent work and economic growth, and the ninth one is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And the 10th one is reduced inequality. And 11th one is sustainable cities and communities. And the 12th one is responsible consumption and production. And the 13th one is climate action. And 14th, life below water. And 15th one is life on land. And the 16th one is peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the 17th one is a partnership for the goals. This is the background note I would like to express here. These are the 17 SDGs. We have to achieve these 17 SDG goals by the end of 2030. These are the major agenda. Our country is already taken care of that. And each state should have a state actions for the achievement or saturation point of the 17 SDGs. On behalf of that, the state of Kerala had done a wonderful job for the saturation of these 17 sustainable development goals. In Kerala, I would like to tell about that. We have a strong Panchayati Raj system, especially focused in the 3-type A system, and well established. In this case, the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, the local actors are the Gram Panchayat level and the people, those who are working at the local area. So our major agenda is the state of Kerala. We had taken as a challenge, like how we can implement this system into the local governance level. And what are the major strategic ideas we need to focus for here for the attainment of the localization of sustainable development goals, especially in the case of the 2030 agenda. For that, we have a great consideration and we have a strong background for the People's Plan campaign and the actions at the 3-tier systems, how we can implement the structure and the strategies and the evolution of the 3-tier system. It is well established in Kerala. So on the prior consideration of these all assumptions, we had started a lot of activities for the saturation point of the localization of sustainable development goals. In this scenario, by 2016, our state government, we have started the Navakerala Karma Paripadi. On the basis of that, we have focused for the 4 missions for the integration of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to the level of achievement, how we can incorporate these all 17 SDGs into these 4 missions at the action level, at the local point of view. In the state, we have focused the 17 Sustainable Development Goals into the strategic actions for the 9 themes at the local level. These state actions, on the basis of that, we have identified the 9 themes, especially on behalf of the Ministry of Panchayati Raj, associating like the actions at the local level, how the state can work, and what are the implementing strategies should need to adopt for the saturations of the localization of sustainable development goals. But on behalf of that, our state, we have adopted the Navakerala Karma Paripadi. On the basis of that, the missions had worked a lot of at the local level, and each mission had a special focus for the local actions, especially in the case of the Life Mission and in Ardhra Mission and Haritha Kerala Mission, and of course, the Education Mission. On behalf of that, we are identified that what are the major challenges and the gaps are happens at the local level. We were identified that each challenges for the implementation level also, we were formulated some of the actions, and that integration part is completely allocated through the implementation part at the local point of view. So on the basis of that, this 17 SDG, we were converted into the thematic approach. In that thematic approach also, we were started that how a Grama Panchayat or local level, this SDGs we can impart, or what are the actions to taken care of the local people. So we have thinking about that from 2016 and 17 on that time, how this part, 17 SDGs, how we can work on that at the local level. So we were firstly started with in Kerala, the People's Plan campaign is already well established, I informed earlier, but the working group allocations and the Gram Panchayat system is well versed. So the planning process through the Gram Panchayat level, the 29 subject areas is incorporated into our 17 SDGs. And we are giving the advisory, each theme or each SDG goals, how the local people can work on that. What are the plan of action we can formulate for the particular SDGs to attain in a particular period of time. So that we were identified that each working group can work for the saturation of the localization of sustainable development goals at the local level. So on behalf of that, what we did here, we have a strong basis of SDG planning process over here, especially in the case of the Panchayat development plan procedure. Every year, the local part, the government part is taking care of that. In that part, the working group is doing the major role to prepare a new plan of action for the next year. So in this case, we have started the creations and idea generation for the peoples, those who are there in the local governments. We were giving the advisory status to attainment of the SDG goals. So how a Gram Panchayat can work for the attainment of the localization of sustainable development goals. So what are the plan and what are the allocation and how we can do the implementation part and focusing for the attainment of the SDGs. So in this case, we have prepared a strategic plan of action. For that, we took the working group people. So the idea is like that, the working group based on the relevant SDG if possible. If we consider a Panchayat level working group, each working group should need to take as a relevant SDGs. Based on that, each group can come up with a Gram Panchayat specific goals and target as discussed earlier. So as discussed earlier means as part of the 17 SDG goals, if a Gram Panchayat have a different vision. So on the basis of the vision, we have identified that it is a goal. For attaining that each goal, we have to do the lot of activities. That activities we have mentioned that it is target. For for attaining this target, definitely this Gram Panchayat people should need to do a lot of activities. So the monitoring purpose, we need to do how many targets they have completed at the local level. In that case, we were identified that we need a monitoring system. For that, we have prepared the indicators. So indicators is acting as a monitoring tool. So the structure is like that. Every Gram Panchayat should need to have a goal. It is a vision. That is their dream or vision, something like that. For attaining that vision, they have to do some of the activities at the local level. These activities we are considering as a target. So goals, targets. And after that, for monitoring level, how many activities are happens at the local level? We have a correct justification. For that, we have identified, we have prepared the tool. This tool, we call it as an indicators. Indicators as the assessing tool. So the framework is like that: goals, targets, and indicators. So if we are preparing a working group at the Gram Panchayat level, they will think about that. If the Panchayat or the people, they have a vision. That vision, we call it as a goal. For attaining that vision, each working group in the particular working group should need to plan some of the activities. These activities, we call it as a target. For monitoring these activities, we need to have some assessing tool. This assessing tool is called it as a indicators. This is the idea or visioning part we have completed at the local level. On the basis of that, each Gram Panchayat is like they have prepared the idea for the saturation point of the localization of sustainable development goals. So the structure is like that. Working group, based on the working group, they have to think that which vision or which dream they have to come up. That vision, we call it as a goal. On the basis of that, the Panchayat is finding the specific targets or activities at the working group level. This is, we call it as a targets. For assessing these targets, we have identified that the assessing tool as indicators. So while preparing the plan, we have to prepare the targets also. So on that time, they have prepared a lot of activities on the basis of that, some of the projects, which can be addressed the SDGs. So these SDGs, how we can incorporate these activities at the local level, we have to give the awareness. Okay, if we are doing these activities, definitely this will lead to the particular goal, and you can achieve the particular goal at the right time. This is the basic awareness campaign we have started at the initial level on 2016 and 17 or 18 on that time. So after preparing these targets or activities, these Panchayat should need to implement these actions at the local level. So what they have to do, each working group, they have to prepare an idea or action. On the basis of that, the Gram Sabha people will work on that. And on the basis of that, the Panchayat committee have to get it done by the Gram Panchayat level. And what are the major needs at the local level? On the basis of the needs, each Panchayat committee should need to finalize the prioritization of the targets and activities, especially on the basis of the projects. These projects will go to the developmental seminar at the Gram Panchayat level. After that, this projects identification and finalization things, they have to done by the Gram Panchayat level, and they have to go for the approval from the DPC. And finally, they have received the approval, and they will follow through the activities and the implementation process at the local level. These strategies by 2020 onwards, each Gram Panchayat is aware, and they have started formulating the actions at the local level. So the first ways we are providing the awareness campaign on behalf of, this is the strategy and this is the idea, we need to work on that. In the first case, on 2020, we have a lot of experience from the Gram Panchayat level. They are very happy to receive all those things at the Gram Panchayat level, and more Gram Panchayat are interested and willing to do some of the thematic wise approach at the local level. And the idea directly focused for the, especially we are saying that this is the major agenda you have to do, we are not compelling to them, but their willingness is showing that, okay, this we can do. these are the important areas we need to focus in the Gram Panchayat level, especially in the case of the clean and green team and poverty-free and enhanced livelihood team. Some of the teams they were identified and they were established and they were start doing the actions at the local level. So these activities already helped us to make it as the state of Kerala as in the first position on the basis of the SDG targets and goals as part of the media report and ministries also. So the basic idea is focusing for the awareness campaign happen at the local level, and each Gram Panchayat level they were willing to do. They are actively participating for the process, and they were established in each level of activities. So the first thing we have completed the actions in that. After that, we have providing the monitoring strategies. This monitoring strategies is basically focused for that. Some of the Gram Panchayatas, for example, I'm saying this, some of the Gram Panchayat are very much interested to do lot of activities. So on that time, we are saying that for achieving particular theme or goal, we need to have some of more actions at the local level. That is basically focusing for the interlinkages of the localization of sustainable development goals. For the saturation of the one goal, especially in the case of for any goal, we can choose either poverty-free, no poverty, or good health and well-being, or quality education, or any other things. If you are choosing one theme, automatically the other theme or other goals is also working for to get the saturation point of the particular theme. So the things are that if a Gram Panchayat is taking one theme and a lot of activities, so each Panchayat level, they need to prioritize them. So the monitoring strategy, what we implemented here is each Gram Panchayat level, what is their target? Accordingly, we have fixed the activities with a timeline. So activities with a timeline means, especially we are focusing that for achieving the particular goal, we have lot of activities. So the prioritization of activities with the timeline. What are the shorter outcome and longer outcome like that? So short-term actions, what we have to do, that things we need to do in the first phase. And the second phase, we need to do, okay, this is the at least long-term activity for the achievement of the particular goal, that we can keep it as a long-term assessment on behalf of the activity. So based on that timeline and the financial aspects also, the monitoring of SDG, we were providing them for the awareness of the localization of sustainable development goals for the saturation limit by 2030. So Panchayat or local level, we have given a structured framework for the monitoring strategy. And these criteria, if the Gram Panchayat level is focused, especially in the case of the targets are actively proposed for the correct timeline and fixing their prioritized areas, and the financial expenditure and what are the things major incorporated for the particular activity. And finally, this all come up with the saturation point of the particular goals. This is the monitoring strategy we have developed. On the basis of that, we have prepared, we are providing them to prepare and making them their vision, their goal as in a portion of the saturation limit. So that we have correctly mentioned that every Gram Panchayat should need to have a vision, which focus for a particular goal, including with their milestone activities, with the correct proper tagline with the timeline. And also, we are providing for the reviewing process, whether these activities happens at the local level or not. After that, the gaps are also identifying system that we incorporated into the particular strategy. And finally, these monitoring processes happens at the local level, definitely, which will lead to the saturation of each SDG goals. This strategy we have by 2021 onwards, the Gram Panchayat is working for the particular activity. Based on that, lots of framework or lots of activities we have of the thematic approach the Gram Panchayat has done, and they have preparing visualization and video representation of each thematic area, whether if poverty-free village or child-friendly village or clean and green village. In this 9 themes, they have visualized the activities and the prioritization of their work and the explanation of the particular theme, what they have done at the local level. On the basis of this, they have worked and explained and documented at the local level. And the next thing is this Panchayat also they have developed a strategic framework because they have set the goals and targets and with correct proper timeline and also the milestone, and finally these will lead to achieving the localization of SDGs. For that, we were prepared the indicators also for the assessing tools. What are the major actions at the local level? These indicators help to plan the activities and implement the activities and also the monitoring the process. What are the major actions happens at the local level which leads to the achievement of the localization of sustainable development goals? So we are saying that indicators are the backbones of the localization of sustainable development goals. And in on behalf of that, we have developed a criteria. The criteria means already NITI Aayog published the National Indicator Framework. So the structured framework is already established. For that, in Kerala, we have adopted a bottom-up approach. For that, we have started a local indicator framework and that prepared by with the support of the elected members and KILA. The leading role is done by KILA, and they were prepared that the local indicator framework with the support of the Gram Panchayat and the Gram Panchayat people is like they were testing that whether these indicators are workable or we have the local level data or not. Because at the right time, we were facing the same challenge because the national indicator framework, a lot of indicators are there, but some of the indicators are, in our case, it is not necessary to our local Gram Panchayat level. So what we did means, on behalf of the National Indicator Framework, we have developed a local indicator framework. For that, we are taking that some of the assumptions. For that assumptions, what we did means, based on this activities, we come to know that at the local level, this disaggregated level of data is there. For that, we could not able to generate the final result. So we are inculcate that we are suggesting that we need to properly frame the local indicator framework at the local level for the monitoring level, how much it has done with the Gram Panchayat level for the assessing purpose. So what we did means few from the main list.
Sound clear ആവുന്നില്ലല്ലോ.
Sir, now it's okay.
It's clear.
Okay.
It is clear.
Okay, sir. Okay. So what we did for the preparation of the local indicator framework, we have selected few indicators from the main list, which is taken from the national indicator framework, and a few indicators to be modified. And some of the indicators we were added over because national indicator framework, which is not showing that this is not a relevant indicator from the local level, but in our case is entirely different. So these are the major strategies we were focused for the preparation of the local indicator framework. And after that, while finalizing these things, we were prepared the SDG dashboard for getting the role from the Gram Panchayat level, how much they have done and what are their roles and strategies, how much like the saturation point of each goals at local level. That things we were focused and captured through the local governments level. That platform is developed by KILA, and the things are happens at the on the basis of that we are prepared a rank list also. And after that, ministry has taken up for the currently it is taken up from the ministry level, and they were prepared the Panchayat Development Index. And after that, they have moved through the Panchayat Advancement Index on, especially in the case of, currently we were focused on 5. So 23, 24 data is already uploaded. I think Takir Khan is also here. Maybe he'll explain the things regarding to that. But apart from that, on the basis of that, I have some like impacts and outcomes of local SDGs monitoring through the local indicator framework. So the major points which we have formulated here, this helped into improved planning and resource allocation, because Gram Panchayat, they have to they have funds and the proper utilization things and planning strategy. It is helpful for them to get it into the platform. And second thing is greater transparency and community trust. Through this local indicators, this is the second one. And the third one is the capacity building. And the fourth one is the better service delivery, and recognition and scaling is also the major impact. And after that, I have to focus for some of the challenges in implementation areas, especially in the case of the local governments, the three-tier system. We are not captured at the urban local governments data. Only the Gram Panchayat level data we were focused here. And the second challenge is ensuring the quality of data, because the different departments are focusing for the capturing the data in a different way. So that is the ensuring the quality of data is the second challenge. And the third one is data has to be collected from the various departments and agencies. Access to these data is it is a very difficult situation. And the fourth one is state-specific indicators have to be strengthened, because we were started the local indicator framework at the local level. It is a bottom-up approach. So the state indicators we need to more strengthen. And next one is many indicators at the national level are irrelevant or redundant. But in Kerala, this need to be addressed. And the incentive to improve scores can sometimes encourage a narrow focus on measurable indicators. This may lead to neglected long-term developmental concerns not captured in the index. This is just a challenge which I mentioned here. Currently, we were doing these actions, no, that's why. And future directions is basically focusing for the 4 major topics. The first one is technological upgrades. And the second one is financial integration linking. And the third one is policy mainstreaming. And the fourth one is the strategy for strengthening the localization of sustainable development goals. So the fourth part is I would like to here stress on that we need to strengthen the strategies at the local level. For that, the regular review and update indicators to ensure the relevance in challenging local and national context. And the technical and financial support is another one. And the institutional mechanism for coordination for the localization of sustainable development goals is we need to strengthen more in that component part also. And finally, the innovative citizen engagement. That is the most important things we need to focus for here. Practices such as especially now we are focusing a lot of activities regarding to the social audit, but in all activities, because especially we want to focus such kind of participatory budgeting and public dashboard availability. All the people can see at the right level, at the local level. Then it could be the transparency and accountability will be more easy, and we can do the actions. So these are the future directions I would like to tell about that. This is all about my background note and concept for the localization of sustainable development goals. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Sukanya. So I think we all got a broad outline of how we approach this localization, or we have approached localization of SDGs so far. And we have experiences also, as Madam had actually rightly mentioned, we will have Mr. Sanil, the Gram Panchayat President of Kathirur in Kannur district. He will talk to us first on his experiences in localization of SDGs. He will initially talk in Malayalam, then a video in English of their experiences in Kathirur will also be presented. Welcome, Mr. Sanil. Over to you.
താങ്ക് യു സർ. സൗണ്ട് കേൾക്കാമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. വീഡിയോ
കേൾക്കാം.
ഓക്കെ സർ, താങ്ക് യു. ആദ്യം ഇത്തരമൊരു സെമിനാറിലേക്ക് വിളിച്ചതിലുള്ള നന്ദി ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ അറിയിക്കാം. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ശാരദ മേഡം ഉൾപ്പെടെ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന ഇത്തരമൊരു സെമിനാറിലേക്ക് ക്ഷണിച്ചത്. ഞങ്ങളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ആസൂത്രണ പ്രക്രിയ 25 വർഷം പൂർത്തിയായതിനു ശേഷം നമുക്ക് വികസന പ്രക്രിയയിൽ ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന, ലക്ഷ്യത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപ്പെടുത്തി ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റുന്ന ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട വികസന നേട്ടങ്ങൾ എന്താണ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിൽ നമുക്ക് ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്ന രീതിയിലേക്ക് SDG പ്രവർത്തനം മാറി എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഏറ്റവും സന്തോഷകരമായിട്ടുള്ളത്. സാധാരണ ഒരു സാമ്പ്രദായിക വികസന രീതി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 5 വർഷം പൂർത്തിയാക്കിയാൽ വാർഡ് മെമ്പറോട് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ 4 റോഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഇത്ര ആൾക്കാർക്ക് വീട് വെച്ച് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. എന്നാൽ ഈ 5 വർഷത്തിനിടയിൽ 2021 ശേഷം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അഭിമാനത്തോടെ പറയാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റുന്ന വികസന നേട്ടങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്നാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇത്ര പേരെ ദാരിദ്ര്യമുക്തമാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിന് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ദിശാബോധം നൽകിയിട്ടുള്ളത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കരുത്ത് നൽകിയിട്ടുള്ള ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട രീതികളിൽ ഒന്ന് SDG അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിലുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ 2021 ശേഷം നടപ്പിലാക്കപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ള, ജനങ്ങളുടെ മുൻപാകെ അവതരിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട നേട്ടങ്ങളിൽ 2 ഒരു ഗ്രാമപഞ്ചായത്ത് പ്രസിഡന്റ് എന്നുള്ള നിലയിൽ അവതരിപ്പിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന 2 കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്ന് ദാരിദ്ര്യ നിർമ്മാർജ്ജനമാണ്, 2 മാലിന്യ മുക്തമായ നവകേരളം എന്നുള്ള ലക്ഷ്യത്തിലേക്ക് എത്തിച്ചേരാൻ പറ്റിയെന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഈ 2 പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ തീർച്ചയായും നമുക്ക് വലിയ നിലയിലുള്ള മാറ്റം SDG അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിലുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലൂടെ നേടിയെടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റിയിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളെ പഞ്ചായത്തിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഏതാണ്ട് 34 പേർ ഈ അതിദരിദ്ര പട്ടികയിലാക്കി എത്തിപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടായി. യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ SDGയുടെ പ്രവർത്തനം അതിദാരിദ്ര്യം മാത്രമായി, ദാരിദ്ര്യ നിർമ്മാർജ്ജനം എന്നുള്ളതിന്റെ ഒരു വലിയ പ്രോസസ്സാണ്. പക്ഷെ ആ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിന്റെ കൂടി ഭാഗമായി നമുക്ക് അതിദാരിദ്ര്യ നിർമ്മാർജ്ജന പ്രക്രിയയിൽ വലിയ മാറ്റങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റി. അതിൽ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടുള്ളത്, കടവരാന്തയിൽ കടന്നുറങ്ങുന്ന ആൾക്ക് ഒരു ആധാർ കാർഡും റേഷൻ കാർഡും ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കുന്നത്, അതേ ആളെ നമുക്കൊരു സ്വന്തം വീട്ടിലേക്ക് ലൈഫ് ഭവന പദ്ധതിയിലൂടെ കൊണ്ടുചെന്ന് എത്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നത് വരെയുള്ള പ്രോസസ്സ് ഈ കാലയളവിൽ നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് കേവലം ഒരു പഞ്ചായത്ത് പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലൂടെ മാത്രം സാധിച്ചത്. ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോ മാഡം, ശാരദ മാഡം ഉൾപ്പെടെയുള്ള പോളിസി മേക്കിങ്ങിന് ആവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള ടെക്നിക്കൽ ഉൾപ്പെടെയുള്ള സഹായങ്ങൾ ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കുന്നവർ നമ്മുടെ ഓരോ ഘട്ടത്തിലും അനുഭവിക്കുന്ന പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് പ്രശ്ന പരിഹാരത്തിന് ആവശ്യമായ മാർഗനിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളിലെ മാറ്റങ്ങൾ വരുത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് സഹായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ സൂചിപ്പിച്ച ആധാർ എടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് റേഷൻ കാർഡ് ഇല്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റേഷൻ കാർഡ് എടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ആധാർ ഇല്ല. ഈ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ പരിഹരിക്കും. അത്തരം ആളുകളെ നമുക്ക് വീട്ടിലേക്ക് പോകണമെങ്കിൽ ലൈഫ് ഭവന പദ്ധതിയുടെ ലിസ്റ്റിലില്ല, ചേർക്കാം. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള മാറ്റങ്ങളിലൂടെ നമുക്ക് വലിയ മുന്നേറ്റം നമുക്ക് ഈ കാലയളവിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒപ്പം അതിനുശേഷം നമുക്ക് ഈ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു പടി കടന്നപ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായും നമുക്ക് അതിദാരിദ്ര്യ നിർമ്മാർജ്ജനം എന്ന ലക്ഷ്യത്തോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ദാരിദ്ര്യ നിർമ്മാർജ്ജനത്തിന്റെ പല മേഖലകളിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക്, അത് പുതിയ സംരംഭങ്ങൾ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നതിലായാലും അതുപോലുള്ള ഒട്ടേറെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ ഈ കാലയളവിൽ നിന്ന് നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. എന്നാൽ ഈ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ നടത്തുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ചില കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ അപാകതകളും ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകളും SDG സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ഞാൻ ആ കാര്യം പിന്നീട് സംസാരിക്കാമെന്നാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾ നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള 5 വർഷക്കാലത്തിനിടയിലെ ഈ വിഷയത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപ്പെടുത്തി നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു വീഡിയോ നിങ്ങളുടെ മുൻപാകെ അവതരിപ്പിക്കും. ആ വീഡിയോ കൂടി കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കൂടി നമ്മുടെ പ്രവർത്തന രീതി എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു ഈ കാലയളവിൽ നടന്നതെന്ന് സംബന്ധിച്ച് വരും. അപ്പൊ ആ വീഡിയോ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു.
Thank you, President. Actually, he was talking about how they have intervened in the SDG theme, poverty-free panchayat. We can also watch the video. Or to you.
സർ മ്യൂട്ടാണ്.
വീഡിയോയുടെ ഓഡിയോ ആവുന്നു.
സാർ ഒരു മിനിറ്റ്.
ഓഡിയോ വരുന്നില്ല കേട്ടോ.
സാറേ ഓഡിയോ റെഡിയാക്കണം.
As long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality exist in our world, the most prominent function of a panchayat is to provide decent standards of living for its people. Complete poverty eradication thus becomes one of the main objectives of Kadirur Panchayat. Through its multi-pronged strategies, our panchayat has strived to consider the basic needs of each individual in the panchayat. As part of the plan of the state government to eradicate extreme poverty within 5 years, our panchayat conducted an extreme poverty survey. 38 families were found to be in this category, and for them, a micro plan consisting of immediate care plan, intermediate plan, and long-term comprehensive plan are being carried out. 17 houses were built for poor families as part of Life Bhavana Paddhati. Life 2020 project, 129 eligible families are being provided with various benefits in the construction of their houses. 75,000 rupees for 48 families each, which amounts to 36 lakh rupees, were provided for house maintenance. To address the poverty issues, the Panchayat has successfully employed programs like Kudumbashri, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Project, Life Bhavana Paddhati, etc. Through the Employment Initiative project of the state government, about 80 business ventures were initiated and almost 1 crore 72 lakh rupees were collected through this. Under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Project, 689 people are currently employed. 1,209 farmers were given around 20 lakh rupees as financial benefit. Job security as well as increased production was ensured by this. During the year 2021-22, developmental work of more than 2 crores were done successfully. A micro-manufacturing unit called Punyam Chips is one of the brands of products from our Kudumbashri unit. Though it operates with limited facilities, it has earned business deals almost all over the district. Around 7 families make a living out of our Kudumbashri unit. Around 23 Harita Karma Sena workers, a team involved in the collection and management of waste, earns around 10,000 rupees per month. Women Handloom Unit, running with the help of Khadi Board, which is a helping hand for around 10 families in our panchayat. Home care services along with a palliative care nurse is provided for around 203 palliative care patients. Through all these projects and programs, we hope to provide a decent and healthy life standards to our villagers.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope we have understood how the Panchayat, the Kadarur Panchayat, has been working on eradicating poverty, the poverty-free Panchayat. The SDG and the localization of SDGs is not about numbers and data, it is about action. And that is the example Kadarur Gram Panchayat under the leadership of Mr. Sanil PP has done. Thank you, President. And now we move on to Ms. Rajani, the Gram Panchayat President of Payam in Kannur. Over to Rajani Madam. Again, the same situation. She will talk in Malayalam and then we will come back to the English version of the video. Over to Madam.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. നമ്മുടെ ക്ലീൻ ആൻഡ് ഗ്രീൻ വില്ലേജ്, ശുചിത്വവും ഹരിതാപവുമായ ഗ്രാമം, ആ വിഷയത്തെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് ഇവിടെ എനിക്ക് സംസാരിക്കാനുള്ള അവസരം കിട്ടിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. എന്ത് തന്നെയായാലും ഇതുപോലെയുള്ള ഒരു സെമിനാറിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ സാധിച്ചതിലും നമ്മളെ ഇതിൽ ക്ഷണിച്ചതിലും അതിയായ സന്തോഷം കൂടി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ശുചിത്വവും ഹരിതാപവുമായ ഗ്രാമം സുസ്ഥിര വികസന ലക്ഷ്യങ്ങളിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു വിഷയം തന്നെയാണ് ക്ലീൻ ആൻഡ് ഗ്രീൻ വില്ലേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതിൽ ശുചിത്വം നമുക്കറിയാം, ഇപ്പം നമ്മുടെ ഹരിതകർമ്മസേനയുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ, അതുപോലെ ഇപ്പം പായം പഞ്ചായത്തിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം പൊതുവിടങ്ങളൊക്കെ മാലിന്യമുക്തമാക്കി അവിടെ പാർക്കുകൾ പൂന്തോട്ടങ്ങളാക്കുന്ന പ്രവർത്തനമാണ് ഈ ഒരു ഭരണസമിതി ഏറ്റെടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. പൊതുവിടങ്ങൾ മനോഹരമായി ഇരിക്കുക, അതുപോലെ നല്ല അന്തരീക്ഷം, നല്ല വായു ഒക്കെ നമുക്ക് ലഭിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ നല്ല ഒരു പൊതു സമൂഹ ഒരു വൃത്തി ഇല്ലാതെ നല്ലൊരു സമൂഹമാക്കി മാറ്റിയെടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി, പൊതുവിടങ്ങൾ മാറ്റിയെടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ജനകീയ കൂട്ടായ്മയിലൂടെ അത്തരം പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ പാർക്കുകളൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. പഞ്ചായത്തിന്റെ വിവിധ ഭാഗങ്ങളിൽ 15ഓളം പാർക്കുകളാണ് ഇത്തരത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ മാലിന്യമുക്തമാക്കിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അതുപോലെ നമ്മുടെ എടുത്തു പറയത്തക്ക പ്രവർത്തനം ഹരിതകർമ്മ സേനയുടെ പ്രവർത്തനം ഉണ്ട്. 39 ഹരിതകർമ്മ സേനാംഗങ്ങളും 7500 വീടുകളിൽ അവരുടെ സേവനം, വാതിൽപ്പടി സേവനം കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട്, അവർക്കുള്ള യൂസർ ഫീ ഒക്കെ കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു നല്ല സഹകരണം നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ കൊടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ നിരവധിയായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രവർത്തനത്തിലൂടെ എന്തായാലും പഞ്ചായത്തിന് ഈ ഒരു 5 വർഷക്കാലം ഇത്തരത്തിലൊരു പ്രവർത്തനം നടത്തി പോകാൻ വേണ്ടി സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നാണ് ഇവിടെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കാനുള്ളത്. തുടർന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് ഇനിയും നമുക്ക് ഇത് സ്ഥിരമായി നമുക്കിത് നിലനിർത്തണമെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രവർത്തനം തുടർന്ന് കൊണ്ടുപോയാൽ മാത്രമേ ഈ ഒരു ലക്ഷ്യത്തിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക് എത്താൻ വേണ്ടി സാധിക്കുകയുള്ളൂ. അത് ഇവിടെ വെച്ച് ഇങ്ങനെ നിർത്തേണ്ടതല്ല. അപ്പൊ എന്തായാലും വരുന്ന ഓരോ ഭരണസമിതി ആയാലും തുടർന്നുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ എന്തായാലും നടത്തി മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുമെന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് സൂചിപ്പിക്കാനുള്ളത്. എന്തായാലും കേരളത്തിൽ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള ഈ ഒരു മാറ്റം നമ്മുടെ തദ്ദേശ സ്വയംഭരണ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് തുടങ്ങിയതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായാണ്. ഒരുപാട് നേട്ടങ്ങൾ ഇതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി സാധിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്.
Thank you, President. What she has mentioned is that how they have worked on the SDG theme, clean and green village, how they did it through people's participation, and how they would like to see it as a sustainable initiative. And let's also watch the video, which will have the English version. Thank you, President, once again.
Payam is a hill village panchayat situated in the northeastern part of Kannur district in the foothills of the Kudag mountain ranges of Karnataka state. We are proud to say that Payam Panchayat is blessed with water wealth and beauty. Bhavali River, which originates from the Coorg forest and flows calmly through Payam, also joins near Iriti Bridge and merges into Valapattanam River through Parashi Dam. Payam Panchayat is implementing many activities to achieve the goal of a clean and green village. Nature management, water and watershed management, soil conservation, renewable energy sources, waste management and solid waste management are the main areas of emphasis. In all the 18 wards of the Panchayat, waste disposal activities are being implemented with public participation. Green Corps, that is Harita Karma Sena members from a total of 9,126 households, collect the inorganic waste with 100% user fee and bring it to the MCF and sort it and send it to the Clean Kerala company. Ring compost, pot compost, compost pit, biogas plant, pipe compost and biobin have been distributed to all the households for bio-waste management. Waste bins have been installed in all institutions and schools under the Panchayat. Both sides of the interstate highway passing through the Panchayat have been cleaned and various other areas prone to dumping of garbage were cleaned and converted into small beautiful parks. The place where once garbage was dumped within the Panchayat limits has been converted into a beautiful Sneharam Park. CCTV cameras have been installed in the area where garbage is likely to be dumped. Green protocol has been made mandatory for all celebrations and festivals held within the Panchayat limits. Public toilets have been constructed under the Take a Break project at Vallithod and Kallumutte for the convenience of the passengers. As part of the net zero carbon activities, more than 3,500 medicinal plants were planted in different areas on June 5th, the Environment Day. Through Angana Jyoti project, energy appliances were distributed to all 28 Anganwadis to reduce electricity consumption. For the realization of the goal of having a barren land-free Panchayat, cultivation, organic farming, etc. have been undertaken. About 250 hectares of barren land have been converted into agricultural land, including vegetable cultivation, sesame cultivation, muttari cultivation, etc. Geotextile is a part of soil water conservation. Many activities such as stream and riverside protection, biofencing, stone bunding, mud bunding, rain pit, bunding, etc. are being done with people's support through the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Development Project. And various species of flowering trees and fruit trees were planted to make the national highway clean and green. Projects have been prepared and implemented for creating agricultural awareness, making the villagers more aware of water safety, involving students in sanitation activities, etc. Green Police Cadet and Student Doctor, Student Health Cadet Project have been implemented in all schools in our Panchayat. The project aims to promote the concepts of water safety through children's hands, sanitation parliament in schools, etc. Harita Sabha was convened in all schools under the supervision of these trained children, and a green report was prepared and presented. The modern crematorium setup at Kolikad is adequate for ensuring a dignified burial. Payam Panchayat has won several awards from the Harita Kerala Mission for its work in the field of sanitation and clean and green Panchayat.
Thank you, President. Payam Gram Panchayat President Ms. Rajani. She has actually shown us how they have used the SDG theme, clean and green village, and how these have been implemented. Thank you once again. And now we would like to hear from Sharda Muralidharan Madam, the former Chief Secretary, and also one of the champions of localization of SDGs and the Gram Panchayat Development Plan in the country. So over to Madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Joy. So let me first congratulate Sukanya on a very detailed and succinct presentation of a very complex topic, as well as the two Panchayat presidents of Kadirur and Payam for the initiative that they have taken in poverty alleviation, in creating clean panchayats. It is important for us, actually, when I was looking at the background paper, it focused almost exclusively on the development of the local indicator framework. But I see that the presentation touches a lot more. But I do have some observations that I would like to make. First of all, is this the localization of SDG? Why would we want to have the localization? I think it is primarily because, in order to achieve the SDG, in order to achieve a goal, you need to know what is your shortcoming in respect of that goal, and how do you overcome that shortcoming. You want to know how far you are going in achieving this goal, for which you look at the indicator and you keep monitoring to see whether there has been an improvement in indicators. So there is the what, which is the outcome. And there is the who. So although these are generally seen at national and international levels, the fact of the matter is that the result starts showing from the ground, and it is a consolidation of it, which is, which goes into the monitorable indicators at state and national levels. We have also seen, however, that these on the ground, these need not necessarily fit into the the framework of a panchayat or a municipality, because it could be per 1,000, per 10,000, per 100,000. For instance, maternal mortality, it cannot be. It's very difficult to actually look at the change in an indicator at the level of the panchayat. So, to what extent has a panchayat contributed to improving or reducing maternal mortality becomes a very moot point. However, the fact of the matter is that there are ways and means in which the panchayats could look at something like this. It would be, for instance, to track the change, the number of women who've had difficult pregnancies, the number of low birth weight children that have come up, the kind of access that women have to healthcare, and the quality and the satisfaction levels of that, because all of these are proxy indicators of what is really happening on the ground. And that's what I would like to talk about, which is the fact that, when we are looking at the localization of the SDG, I don't think that the target. So in the presentation, we were talking about the goal, the target, and the monitoring indicator. So the goal was of course the achievement of the SDG itself. The target were seen as activities that would be undertaken in order to achieve the goal. And I think that we need to make a distinction there, that is not exactly the target. The activity is the method by which you achieve a target. So the indicator, yes, is an assessing tool, but monitoring is also not just about having a tool, but being able to use it right. So that these are questions and challenges in the field as to how exactly do you do these things. So if you would be looking at the who, it becomes the local self-government and the community. And we have in this discussion has been primarily looking at panchayats, but I think we would, I mean, from the point of view of the state, from the point of view of the center, also, we can't take the urban local governments out of the equation. So they have to also be part of a process that is very similar. And so you got the local government, but you also have the community. And the community and the citizen. So the question is, what is their locus standi? The local government, as government at the local level, is very important in bringing this all together. And the important thing about the SDGs is that there is a lot of convergence that is required. I mean, poverty cannot be, reduction cannot be achieved without addressing education, without addressing sanitation, without addressing health, so without addressing drinking water, without addressing disaster resilience. So you find that convergence is something which is actually very critical to ensuring that you are protecting without addressing equity and gender and decent work. So it's like almost all your SDGs are caught in this one SDG of ending poverty. So convergence is required. And you will find that these is spread across multiple departments. The platform in which that convergence can actually be made to happen on the ground is the local government. And the community becomes a key player in helping the local government deliver this. So convergence, you would be looking at, the sectors of convergence, which I just listed, but there are also categories. You have to look at your categories of people. You've got your tribal communities, SC communities, women, geriatric communities, disabled, children, marginalized communities. So, and each of these perhaps need to be looked at differently, and especially for a total outcome to come through. So your targets actually become a lot more nuanced. And where does the citizen or the community come here? The community comes in as as stakeholder participant in management, as a monitor, because the paper does talk about social audit. And so social audit of what is happening, whether it is happening the way it should, whether there are people that are left out, or whether the benefits that we are actually trying to put across so that the outcomes are achieved are going the way they should, or they are going suboptimally. All of these things need to be tracked and properly understood. And the citizen is also the client. So in a sense, the SDG can also be about coming up with very strong citizens charters and being able to deliver on them. So from the role of the SDG is about convergent implementation. It is about proper targeting. But before all that, it is about coming out with your problem statement. And which is what I would like, in Kerala particularly. It was something that we desired to do earlier. Dr. Joy would remember that. And which is that we have perfected the art of projects, of creating projects and implementing them. But we are really not very concerned with the outcomes that these projects are coming out with. And it is important, the localization of SDG is an opportunity to move from a project orientation into an outcome orientation, into a result orientation. Because the project is only a pathway. It is not the end in itself. The end is the outcome. So if you're looking at an outcome and you realize that one project will not do, it is about multiple projects, and multiple projects can be ad hoc. Multiple projects can be convergent. So therefore, unless we are able to look at these projects as convergent and as steps in reaching out to a particular outcome, we will end up with doing a lot of good, but maybe not optimally utilizing the resources and capabilities that are available to us. So there is, the ensuring of basic services, the equitable management of the resources that are available, including financial resources. What are you putting it in? How are you putting it in? And then there is behavioral change, which you, in the PIM example, talked about that, about, in the next generation of people, of bringing in agriculture, awareness on agriculture, on sustainable practices, etc. And so can we look at a superstructure of projects which have which have great clarity about why and how they are contributing to the achievement of a particular SDG. Some of them can be quantified, some of them would be process indicated. So, and then comes this whole dimension of how do you enable communities to participate by way of monitoring, by way of picking out outliers, by way of being able to give input and feedback to the local government and to the officers concerned as to what is going right and what is not. And also, ultimately, which we'd seen in the Kadirur presentation about the micro plans, where you create the micro plans and you implement and execute the plans. But what is the quality of execution? What is the, if are cyclical entitlements continually being given, or is there a falling off? Is there attrition? So, what is the impact of the intervention that is being done? So, which is basically, it is about doing the body count of change, which is resulting in inching closer to that, to the achievement of that elusive SDG. So, the micro plan becomes a very interesting tool to do that. Today's world is actually now moving into data-driven decision-making. And the LIF provides us with a very strong format for that data. But what is the process of the decision-making which is coming out of this data? And this question of, are we actually able to do a profile of the local government in terms of, because what is the basis on which we choose one of these 9 themes? Is it because it is the most critical? Is it because it is the most easy to achieve? Is it because the indicators are not fleshed out, and so therefore we could be fairly vague about that? Is it because there is somebody who is very enthusiastic in the panchayat or municipality on that particular theme, and therefore that enthusiasm drives the selection of the theme itself? So we would actually need to be clear on these things as well. Of course, in real terms, because of the interlinkage of the SDGs, you push for one, you will find that you are pushing for 4 or 5 at one go. But then the fact of the matter is that in this edifice of framework that we have developed, we are not monitoring the others. We're only monitoring that limited area of SDG. And maybe we need to think about that interconnection and how the local government is actually thinking through this whole process. And so ultimately, if we're looking at this, it's about what would be our wish list as far as the localization is concerned, because you need enabled communities. So it would mean transformation of the nature of the Gram Sabha participation, of the capability of the local government to look at outcomes and therefore prepare need-based and responsive plans and projects. It would be about working out how convergence can actually be effected on the ground. We've seen examples of convergence in what we were shown of MGNR regions being roped in, of various other departments also coming into the scene. But then we need to have a clear picture as to how this is structurally incorporated in the whole localization agenda. Community monitoring and action, and ensuring that there is action on community monitoring. So social audit, not by externalities coming and undertaking social audit and giving feedback to the local government, which is also important, but from within the community itself, because the community being interested and invested in its own improvement and being able to take the local government to task or hold it responsible for that. So how can community monitoring be strengthened from the angle of the SDG, and how can we ensure that findings that are coming out of this are acted upon, that these become actionable, that the local government is responsive, so that the local government is not stuck in an annual framework of, we've put things into a project, we implement the project, we're done. That it becomes a continuous exercise of intervention, correction, mediation, rectification, and resilience. So that should be also something that we would need to look at. And it is so important that we are able to create beacons where the problem statement has been developed. The LIF is superimposed on that problem statement. It gives you the targets that we are looking at. We look at bringing in projects that work clearly according to that problem statement. And these might not be in the sector alone or for the categories alone that we are, that the SDG specifically looks at, but might be looking at a whole host of adjunct and supporting areas. And that ultimately these outcome-based interventions, which with very tangible and observable outcomes, become, peer learning models for the rest of us. Kerala has done this in the DCAT. So the DCAT intervention, which we have done as part of the Resilient Kerala initiative, I think that itself fits very nicely with the idea of localization of SDG. I think that we cannot rest on the laurels that we have already achieved. We need to challenge ourselves to do this bigger, better, take data, turn it around, and use it for outcome-based interventions. I'll stop here. Thank you. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Especially you have given all inputs with related to the topic, and it has been quite useful. And we will now move on to Dr. Takir Khan, who is at the Ministry of Panchayat Raj, who has been monitoring and designing and conceptualizing localization of SDGs at the national level. Over to Dr. Takir Khan.
Good evening, sir. Very good evening to all. At the outset, I wish to thank the organizers for inviting me to this international seminar. It is an honor to join this dialogue, and here I'll be speaking. I'll be speaking on the how MOPR has been making all the efforts for the localization of sustainable development goals across the countries, and what we have done, what are the what were the challenges, what are the way forward we have thought of, and we are working on, and accordingly, I'll be focusing on the policy matters which we are dealing in the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. We have learned, we have seen, we have listened from the experience of the Kerala, and we have listened Sukanya and Madam. They have given a very detailed insight what is being done in Kerala, and what is being, what should be the policy interventions, and what should be the way forward for the effective localization of sustainable development goals. We will be discussing also how this localization process has evolved into a complete and dynamic loop of planning, action, assessment, and learning through the Panchayati Raj institution. The process of thematic approach, adoption of thematic approach was started itself at the time of Madam Sarda Muralidharan, and in her leadership, a thematic approach was prepared. And after that, the process was carried out, and again, committee was constituted, and further various activities, various actions has been taken to take it to the grassroots level. As it is, as Madam was saying, it is a very challenging work, and adoption of local indicator frameworks based on the international agenda, and making it suitable for the adoption at the grassroots level, that is Gram Panchayat, is a really challenge. And this process was started after Madam and in 22-23 intensively. After this process, we have created a complete loop in starting from adoption of thematic approach to adoption of to mapping of local indicator framework with the national indicator framework, and then integration of the these framework into planning process, and the then assessment through these planning assessment of these planning and activities that is undertaken in the thematic approach through Panchayat Advancement Index that has also evolved greatly. We started the data entry from 22-23, and then this year data entry of 23-24 has been done by the Panchayats, and we have learned, and a lot of modification has been made. So here I'll be discussing mainly on the whatever we have been doing in the ministry, and what are the course of actions we had charted out, and we are discussing, we are having regular consultation with the state governments and other stakeholders, especially other ministries, because convergence is a very important aspect of this localization of sustainable development goals, as Madam was also saying. So we have also integrated the technical part of our portals and other technical interventions to map or to get exact tracking of the progress, what we are doing and what we are intended to do, and to find out the gaps. We will start with the first we started with the adoption of 9 thematic approach, and then these thematic approach were integrated into planning process, and these planning process were also integrated into our existing e-Gram Swaraj portal for monitoring and tracking. E-Gram Swaraj portal was customized as per our localization of sustainable development goals, thematic approaches, and various activities were created with the consultation of states and UTs. Based on these activities, the states were asked to focus on certain 1 or 2 thematic approach to adopt a saturation approach. And on that saturation approach, concept of sankalp or resolution was adopted by the ministry, wherein if only sankalp or resolution was not enough to move forward in a saturation approach, accordingly a certain certain checks were imposed in the portal that certain proportion of the activities under selected themes or selected sankalp themes are selected on the themes which Gram Panchayat has taken resolution to be actually worked on at that particular year, in that particular year, and certain proportion of untied fund are also to be allocated for these activities. So it was tied with the grants, and then we move forward, and now we have prepared assessment for the preparation of GPDP. The GPDP is being assessed now, and in under e-Gram Swaraj portal, we have made a provision for the assessment of Gram Panchayat development plan, and we will be moving forward to block and district level also. But we have started with the Gram Panchayats because there are a huge number of Gram Panchayats, and if we will be able to cater the needs of Gram Panchayat, we will certainly be able to cater the needs of block and district Panchayats also. So we are giving a prompt through Panchayat Advancement Index that your where are the gap exist, in which sector, in which themes gap exist. On that, a prompt is being given to the plan those who is preparing plan for taking these themes or activities as a sankalp or a resolution. And then also we are assessing the quality of GPDP through this portal, and now it is being deployed. It is in process, and indicators have been devised to assess the GPDP. We have assessed the pilot has been conducted, and we have shared the findings of some Gram Panchayats with the state governments to for their validation and their suggestion. And we will be having soon a very big consultation before the launch of the guidelines for 16th Finance Commission. for the preparation of Gram Panchayat development plans. So before that, we come up with the assessment tools for Gram Panchayat development plan itself. And then if these Gram Panchayat development plans are prepared qualitatively, then it will certainly impact to our SDG positively, because it will be based on certain parameters, and then our Panchayat Advancement Index and their indicators will certainly improve. We will be based on these Panchayat Advancement Index, we are trying to incentivize also to the panchayats that a panchayat should be celebrate excellent, but not also motivates panchayat to innovate, collaborate, and perform better each year. So these best performing panchayats are awarded every year, and we are also organizing national level workshop and conferences for the effective cross learnings. Only those awarded Gram Panchayats or best performing or beacon Panchayats are coming together and presenting their exemplary works at the national platform and for cross learnings, wherein other panchayats are learning and they are replicating, going back to their gram panchayats and replicating. We have found a lot of such kind of case studies, those who have attended national workshop and have learned from the beacon panchayats and went back and have adopted the these replicable kind of best practices. So this and recently an evaluation study was also conducted by the IRMA, that has Institute of Rural Management in Gujarat. They have found that the reach of our elected representatives or functionaries or other stakeholders are now more than 70% of the survey people are aware about the localization of sustainable development goals. So initially, very few people were aware about the localization of sustainable development goals, and now we are through these interventions, regular workshop, conferences, capacity building and training under RGSA, we are focusing specifically. These reach has been made through effective capacity building initiatives undertaken in the Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. I would like to here acknowledge the role of KILA. The initial module for localization of sustainable development goals was prepared by KILA itself. And based on these modules, we carried out intensive TOTs and training in the cascading mode and reach out to the grassroots level, and that has been reflected in the study of IRMA. We have now working with a lot of ministries. Earlier, we are working in silos. Now, a lot of ministries itself are coming together to implement their own departmental schemes and program through Panchayati Raj institutions. We are right now we are working with the Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, and with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, another initiative they have taken, water security plan. They are also coming up with the plan to prepare. Even Ministry of Home Affairs has come out with the proposal that under the clean and green initiatives, we can have a local plan, a local disaster management plan, and we are going to launch a small scheme for the same very soon in collaboration with the Ministry of Home Affairs. So VPRP has already been integrated into our GPDP, so that we are actually working on overall convergence mechanism with the whole of government and whole of society approach to achieve localization, effective localization of sustainable development goals. We have created, in this regard, we have created a complete loop from global goal to local indicators, from training to technology-enabled planning, from thematic resolution to measurable assessment, from incentivization to continuous learning, and from isolated action to convergent collective outcomes, action-oriented outcomes. Therefore, we are hopeful that, and we are evolving, and we are learning from the regular consultation with the various stakeholders. We will be able to, with such initiatives, the ministry is expecting to localize to achieve sustainable development goal very effectively through the intervention of grassroots level peoples. Thank you, sir. This is.
Thank you, Dr. Akil Khan.
Yes.
You have given us the whole of country scenario with regard to localization of SDGs. Thank you for that. And then now we move on to Ms. Prayashi Bora, who is the SDG officer at UNDP. And UNDP has a large program on localization of SDGs, and Prayashi has been leading it. Over to Prayashi Bora, please.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening to everyone. And it's very heartening to hear about the experiences, especially from the Gram Panchayats, Kadinur and Payam, and also the insights shared by Madam Dr. Khan and yes. So I'll just share my presentation. It's a very brief presentation. I'll keep it very short because I think we're already past the time. So, sorry. So in my presentation, I would like to dwell on the experiences at the national level and how UNDP has been supporting at the state level as well. So cut back short on the institutional framework, SDG localization, we know that development outcomes for every state and for every union territory is different. Each state and UT or any district is at a different step on the development trajectory. And therefore, there is a need to contextualize and localize and design our development steps and roadmap in such a way that it fits the needs of the state or the UT or at the district or the village. So going back to 2015, when India committed to the SDG agenda, it is very important to first establish a foundation. And that came up with assigning a particular ministry their sole responsibilities. For example, Niti Aayog became the nodal agency for coordination, monitoring, and overall supervision with respect to SDGs. And complementing the efforts of Niti Aayog was the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI, which is responsible for creating the overall architecture of the National Indicator Framework, which forms the basis of monitoring and through which has been adapted to the state indicator framework, local indicator framework, etc. Again, a critical role is played by the Ministry of Panchayati Raj, which we already have, Dr. Khan has already spoken about it, about how it is being operationalized at the village level. And in tandem to that, we have the line ministries working on certain schemes, on their respective schemes and monitoring at the state and grassroots level. The same mechanism is again replicated at the state level, where we have the planning departments who are the overall coordinating agencies for departmental coordination and monitoring. Now, within the planning department, also some states have SDG cells. Kerala, of course, has Kila, who are orchestrating the effort on SDGs at the ground level. The counterpart of MOSPI at the state level is the Department of Economics and Statistics, which is collating all the data, publishing the SDG-related reports. And then we have the line ministries again working in tandem, the line departments on scheme implementation and monitoring. Now, the SDG model of localization is based on 5 key principles. Firstly, as I mentioned, is the establishment of a very strong foundation or institutional structure. And the first task that India did was to map its schemes to the SDGs, which schemes, and also because one scheme cannot be mapped to just one SDG. SDGs are holistic. So a scheme on education might have an impact on goal number 2, on goal number 5, on gender as well, not just on goal 4. Secondly, was to have working groups chaired by very senior level leadership at the level of chief secretary level, or in some cases, even the chief minister. Thirdly, to prepare a vision plan for 2030. So once the priorities are set, workshops are convened, and thematic workshops have been done in many of the states to finalize the strategy papers and to come up with the Vision 2030. And of course, the SDG centers, SDG cells in various planning departments are taking this forward. The second step was to have a robust monitoring system. As we have already reiterated in the previous presentations as well, that data, be it in the LIF, SIF, DIF, is very important. And through the help of dashboards, through the help of mobile applications and various indices, this has been established. Then another important thing is that we need resources for achieving our goals. We cannot rely just on participation. We also need financial resources, human resources. So in terms of finances, many states have started to map their budgets with the SDG targets to understand where the allocations are. For example, if a goal, if there is, let's say if there's more money going to goal 5 or goal 4, and the performance is already saturated, can we divert those resources to a goal which is quite critical, let's say goal 12 or climate action? So these mapping or budget alignment, which is called, is very helpful. Then another critical pillar of SDG localization is building capacities, which is already discussed, how Kila is doing, how all other states in different parts of the country through their state institute of training institutes are doing it. Niti Aayog, we have also supported Niti Aayog in conducting many capacity building workshops and sensitizing the government officials on the indicators of the India Index and so on. And of course, the next is to have a whole of society approach, which is the most important part, to involve everyone in the process of SDG localization, not just the government, but also the common man, the think tanks, the academia, the international organizations, NGOs, CSS up to the ground level, the panchayats, and of course, business sector as well. Now, how UNDP is supporting at the central level, at the state level, I'll just briefly mention. So at the central level, we have a partnership with Niti Aayog, which dates back to 2018, when we started the process of preparing the SDG India Index. The SDG India Index is a comprehensive tool to measure performance of all states and union territories on the SDGs. And it started with just a very minuscule set of 62 indicators or so, not even 1/3 of the entire NIF, because data was quite scant at that time, and we could not have data in uniform data for all the indicators. However, the universe of indicators has definitely expanded over the 4 editions. And in 2023-24, when the latest edition came out, there were 113 indicators mapped across 70 targets. So how does this index help? This index has been very vital in nudging stakeholders, policy leaders to understand which are the critical goals, where they are doing well, where they're progressing or where they're regressing, which are the critical indicators, then promoting healthy competition and identifying data gaps. Wherever data is not available, it falls under the eyes of the senior leadership that we need data and we need to ensure that our statistical systems are updated to capture those indicators as well. Apart from the SDG India Index, UNDP has also supported in the development of the multidimensional poverty index. And Kerala, of course, has the lowest poverty estimate. And I think it just came in the newspaper that today, that in the Hindu, that Kerala will be will eradicate extreme poverty from November 1st. So moving on now. So again, another example of a deepening of SDG localization. So till now we've discussed how the index has helped to understand performance at the state level. Now in 2021, I'm just narrating it from 2018 to 2021, we find that the level has gone a little down in terms of deepening of SDG localization at the regional level. So Ministry of Donor is the only ministry dedicated to the development of Northeastern region. There's no other ministry that works solely upon on a region. And the priorities of Northeast, of course, is very different from mainland India. So a very district-specific index was developed. UNDP, Niti Aayog, and MDonor in 2021 came up with the first comprehensive measure of SDG performance and localization with district-wise ranking. There are 131 districts currently, but assessment could be done only for 121 because we did not have data for the rest 10 districts. Sufficient data was not available. However, with the 120 districts or so, the assessment was released just this year. And the findings are very important because they inform the PM Divine scheme of the Ministry of Development of Northeastern region. And the findings are used as justification when these states put proposals to the ministry for funds. Then again, at the national level, again, we have been supporting MOSPI. And through MOSPI, we help assist states, especially the union territories who are yet to finalize or prepare their UT indicator frameworks and district indicator frameworks. We have had a series of workshops starting in Jaipur, Delhi, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar on fine-tuning of these indicators. And also another mode of discussion has been to include the gender climate nexus indicators, which means most of the climate related indicators are gender blind. We haven't been able to, as ma'am said, we haven't been able to study interconnections. So how climate affects gender, those discussions are also ongoing. But of course, probably when the NIF is further updated, we will see those changes. But those discussions are going on. Now, moving on to the state experiences on how UNDP has partnered with other states on accelerating SDG at the state level is through the SDG coordination centers. The first SDG coordination center came up in 2018 in Haryana. And this is a specialized cell which is anchored in the planning department of a particular state and works solely to ensure a convergent, it acts like a coordinating body. It tries to convene meetings on or organize thematic workshops. It also has the responsibility of strengthening the monitoring systems. And whenever there are and explore avenues for partnerships for accelerating efforts at the grassroots level. So currently these SDG cells, there have been 9 states which we have partnered with, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Karnataka, very recently with Tamil Nadu as well, and Jammu Kashmir. And these are funded through state level budgets and through the SSS scheme. Niti Aayog has also acknowledged this model and has further rechristened it into the SDG Coordination Acceleration Center. So SDG coordination centers would, from 2018 to 2024, they would focus on collation of data, fine-tuning the data, cleaning it and then putting it in a report. But now the shift has been to use those insights from the dashboard that has been developed to frame policies, to develop district-wise action plans. That is a work that is currently going on in SDCC Nagaland, for example. Secondly, the impetus has also been to focus on alternate sources of financing, SDG financing, to explore how we can bring in CSR players also in the in SDG localization. These are some snapshots of the dashboards that we have been able to develop in partnership with the state governments. For example, Mizoram. So Mizoram, we got a request to develop a dashboard, a 3-tier dashboard at state, district, and also at the village level. So we have a very prototype village level indicator dashboard as well. Also, Nagaland, we have the district level dashboard. In Jammu Kashmir, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Punjab also, we have district and state level dashboards. But again, the overall interface is very different depending on the needs, on what kind of access should be given to the public, or to what level of access can be given to the government officials and other stakeholders. So the interface is quite different for all the states. Then for Uttarakhand is an early adopter state. In 2020, 17-18, Uttarakhand Vision 2030 was launched. We have assisted the government through their think tank, which is called the Center for Public Policy and Good Governance, or CPPGG. And CPPGG, we have personnel there, we have experts there on M&E and partnerships and communications. So they have developed various reports, and of course, although the DIF was formed in 2021, one of the states that have developed long way back, but the DIF is not static, it is quite dynamic, with indicators being revised constantly as the NIF is updated. And also they have done work on the at the village level with they have worked on developing the local indicator framework as well. For Uttar Pradesh, how it is using the SDG India Index results is they have categorized indicators into 3 categories. Wherever they have performed above the national average, they have considered it to be good. Indicators equal to the national average also they have taken, and then they have also highlighted those indicators where they are falling behind the national average, and have focused on developing micro action plans. So what now after 2025, since we have just 5 years left on monitoring, we need to strengthen our monitoring frameworks by identifying the gaps. As I said, in the Northeast Index as well, we had data for only, we could not find data for 10 districts, 10 new districts. So we need to ensure that those data gaps are filled. And secondly, we need to ensure that there is coherence between, we have multiple frameworks of LIF, DIF, SIF, NIF. We need to ensure that there is coherence and interconnectedness between all these frameworks. They need to be aligned. Thirdly, also, we need to understand. We need to also focus on developing reporting to the public. Lastly, augment capacity on SDG monitoring. So a lot of capacity building has to be done at the local level, because at the district level or the village level, they're doing the data entry, and if the data entered is not correct, or if there is an error, it can lead to a misleading picture of sustainable development. So it is important that we ensure quality data by giving quality training and augment the capacity of our officials at the ground level. Another example is budget tagging and budget alignment, which is done in Haryana. And this is very interesting because we know that many departments contribute to a particular SDG. It is one SDG does not fall under the purview of just one department. So for example, in Haryana, if you can see under goal 5, the allocations, the financial allocations are divided among more than 10 departments. And we see that education, then social welfare, social justice and empowerment have the maximum share. So this picture tells us that which departments are very much accountable when we assess when it comes to budgeting. So which departments are responsible for their actions, and it helps us strengthen policy alignment. That is, we can connect the SDGs with our priorities and track investments with clarity to see how much budget is mapped against each SDG, and can we redirect our resources from the already saturated ones to the laggard areas where we need more focus. Then another very interesting thing that is happening is involving our private sector. So we know that we need adequate resources, and since it's the mandate of the CSR entities to invest a part of their net profits into development initiatives, why not harness that opportunity? So Karnataka developed, UNDP assisted Karnataka government in developing the Akanksha platform, the CSR matchmaking platform, and it was extremely helpful during the COVID period, especially where many of the CSR entities provided support, not just financially, but also in grant through oxygen masks, and a lot of efforts have been made in that sphere. The similar thing has been replicated in Mizoram as well. It's currently under development, and in Tamil Nadu. Then, as I said, that we can never leave anyone behind in our road to achievement of the SDGs, which is the most important thing, is to have everyone on board. So some of the work that the SDGs coordination centers are doing is to recognize people who have worked on sustainability issues and have become the pioneers. And this is, for example, the SDG Innovation Participation Action Research Initiative is being undertaken in Nagaland, where a seed money is given to upcoming enterprises working on sustainable initiatives. Then SDG Action Awards in Uttarakhand. Then there have been attempts in Nagaland to involve NSS volunteers through the Young Ambassadors program, where they have adopted an SDG model village, like one village, and monthly they would go and visit that village and do some sort of activities, for example, an awareness campaign. So those are very good initiatives that are taken at the village level. Then another method through which Nagaland is doing is on SDGs is during the Hornbill Festival. Now, the Hornbill Festival is a huge festival for Nagaland. It attracts more than 2 lakh tourists every year, and there is a dedicated SDG one-stop center where there are board games, quizzes for encouraging the youth, and then prizes are given basically to sensitize people on the sustainable development goals and also to adapt sustainable practices. So they also have something called the Green Christmas, where they nudge citizens to adopt green practices, like even while gifting. So that is there. So with the SDG CCs in place, we have noticed some shifts that are taking place in SDG localization. Firstly, there is a very strong government ownership of the 2030 agenda. Secondly, when we have strong institutions like the SDGCCs or like the KILA in place, we find that we have a whole of government approach. We're moving from a siloed approach to a whole of government approach, involving all our partners, involving everyone. And the shift 3 has been, as ma'am also said, we are trying to move from not just measuring how projects are doing or how we are doing, how we're spending our money on schemes, but also towards outcome-oriented results, outcome-focused data. Next, the capacities are definitely being built. We have a lot of work to do, but still, yes, the awareness is happening, and many workshops have been conducted at the national level, at the state level, also through the training institutes to capacitate the district level officials, at the Gram Sabha level, also in Kerala, as you've seen. And in shift 5, we can see that because of all these things, there's an increased momentum on financing for the SDGs and budget alignment. So if you want to know more about what is going on in the country and what other states are doing, UNDP has developed a SDG Knowledge Hub. The URL is given. It's called the SDG Knowledge Hub .undp.org.in. There is also a e-learning course. It's a free self-paced program. So please feel free to stop by and access this platform. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bora. It has actually covered a lot of new things, especially of the Northeast. And thank you for that. And finally, it's time to say good night to all of you. I don't venture into consolidating all the points all of you have made, because each one was unique, right from Sukanya to Madam to Dr. Khan and Bora, and of course the two Gram Panchayat presidents, Mr. Sanal and Ms. Rajini. And thank you all for all the inputs. And participants can write to us to our email IDs on their comments, the suggestions, and new insights into localization of SDGs. And we will also come up with a document, the proceedings of this workshop, this seminars, and where all these inputs which all of you have given will be incorporated. Thank you all. And over to the organizer committee for the vote of thanks.
Respected Sir Joylans. So we extended our special thanks to the presenter and the speakers of this seminar and the participants. So special thanks to all participants, even in the late night time. So, and request the participants to join the next day, our seminar, Gender Inclusive Governance Towards Equitable Local Development, next day, same time, same Zoom platform. So, once again, we thanks to all participants and speakers and persons. Thanks and good night.